an array of missions. So we'll just do missions. And we also will want a version number for that. So version number, and that'll be an integer. So this will need to be number 15. This is game data, get mission data, version missions, mission data updated. All right. Duplicate mission ID, so we need 16. What did I? Duplicate service ID 50. Wait, what? Duplicate. Alright, I must be. Are we on 17 now? Okay, we're on 17 now. Did I already have a game data thing somewhere? Let's just search for 17 inside of this services folder. Well, search for 16. What am I thinking? 16 is inside of the application server. Okay, that makes sense. Because we did make that. So let's make our game data service. There we are. There's light at the end of the tunnel for your file format. Very good then. And you're working on what, the plugin for Blender to do all sorts of crazy stuff and use it as like a level editor or something, if I remember. I forget though. I've been to GDC and back, so it's been a journey. Yeah. Right, good. Not totally insane. Alright, so this is not supposed to be called ever, so that's fine. Alright, so we got all this stuff. We have our service, we've got this, so what we're gonna do is wd-server globals. Let's see, get missions. So if this is null, then we'll make a new error. Let's just log a warning. Unable to retrieve mission data. No cache available. Otherwise, we need a game data response. So response dot this. Let's go ahead and grab our. So we need the version as well. We actually need like the entire thing, don't we? So we should have, excuse me, the entire data structure for this. And this is inside of game, mission data structures. We need a mission data file is what it looks like. Alright, and we're going to want to set it here. It's going to be our mission data. It's going to be the level header. Very good. Alright, so no mission data. Otherwise, their version is going to be... And the missions is going to be... Alright, so that should fill out everything that we absolutely need. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to go to that broadcast thing and actually broadcast to all of our clients that something's available. So what we're going to need to do is this. So what I've got here is, this might be interesting. I want to wait until it's loaded. Load a different version. And we want to actually block, don't we? Or something like that. Like this will break the cache. Oh, okay. Let's think. Yeah, let's do a load lock. And I'm going to need to read about this real quick. Basically, we need to have people that are waiting. Alright, we've got it all going on. So we'll notify everybody who's on the load lock. And we want to have like a... We want a load lock. So... Load missions now. So we want to snag this thing here. No, we don't want to block here. We'll want to block there. So the version numbers were different. So what we want to do is a... Yeah. Okay, so this should work. So our waiting should, what does it say? It causes the current thread to wait until either another thread invokes notify. So blah blah, monitor. So notify all, wakes up the thread that are waiting in the object monitor. The thread waits in the object monitor. We call them its wait methods. It's been a while since I messed around with the notifies in Java and all that stuff, and what order I should be locking stuff and not locking stuff, and I think I should not be locking outside of that. I'll just do the notify there because the load lock will be fine at this point. So we want our current mission data. Okay, so if we're going to block, we're going to say, since this is volatile, I think we'll be okay with this right there. So if cur, yeah, I should just do if cur version file version equals version, then we just return. Otherwise, we're doing this like a wait loop. And we'll just return if this guy is good or not. So what we want to do is, let's say do block, so boolean loaded. Otherwise, if we did actually load this thing in here, then we are going to want to do this header stir, content stir. What is this garbage? Broadcast message request. This is The call ID is not this. It is a notification. So it's not base TCP. It is our game data. This is a on mission base TCP call. No, it's going to be WD game data call ID. Yeah. And then that's going to be the on mission data updated. And that's going to be a notification. So we have to do a game data on mission updated request. So what we're going to do basically is we're going to get our primary service, get the TCP connection manager, add a net callback. So when the connection manager next ticks, it'll call us inside of here where we will actually package up and send the mission data message to every single person. So this is going to be the version number. So that should forward this to every authenticated and non-authenticated connected client for this guy after we load the mission cache. So the question is, should we push this out there inside of this guy, or should we have some other system which does this, such as should we have this notification go out inside of the... Yeah, we probably shouldn't have it be done here because it's kind of stupid if it's here. So just do false, do this, and what we'd want to do here is actually put this inside of the mission cache at the end of this guy. So we've got the load lock and all that crap, but we're never going to use it. So we're going to have notify clients of new missions. And let's also throw this as a thing we can turn on and off. So services, config, local, test and prod. So this is stats, this is missions. Let's have a forward to clients. Let's set that to true. And we're just forwarding the version number to the client so the client can decide whether or not it actually wants to do anything with this. It's a volatile variable, so it's fine if it's on another thread, but probably what we should do is just have an int version at the top of this file so we don't have any accidental... Oh, I didn't realize this was on a thread happening. Just do it like that. So see, this is services, missions, and forward to clients. Forwarding missions updated to all connected clients with new version of version. So the clients will actually have to listen for that. Load of different version. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Alright, let's see if this thing actually works. So we'll boot this up, and then I'll go push a new version of the missions out there to the local environment, and we will see if this thing actually loads it up. So let's go kick off that job. That is deploy Dashkin game data to the local environment. Loading up missions from folder. Mission is 4, mission data is blah, mission updated to 4. Loaded up mission data for version 4 with 2 missions, forwarding the new version of 4. Alright, so totally worked. Let's just run it again to make sure we get 5. And that's basically dynamic missions throughout our systems. We do not have the client-side caching of those missions, but that would be the next step. Forwarding missions updated to all connections with a new version of 5. Alright, so totally works. We didn't deadlock anything, we didn't do anything stupid, so our infrastructure now supports the mission export to JSON. We have the tool to deploy JSON to servers. We have the messaging for new versions. We have the push to client for new mission versions. We have our game data service to serve missions. And what we'd need next would be the client to actually have a service which it can be called back, which will load the missions for it. So let's just build this. And then we'll need to turn those missions into actual game missions that we can use. Today is Tuesday? Alright. I've got to finish up. I need to get stat stuff done for Friday, so kind of I need to get to a good stopping point for the mission stuff so I can actually pivot over to stats, because stats are... I need to get stuff ready for Adam for the weekend. But I don't know if I... Alright, so what do I have? I have the base TCP service callbacks, and what the hell am I doing with that? Yeah, okay, so we don't need more editor stuff because we already set that up. We're probably going to need another transmoogler thing for some of this, because I need to go from uClasses to uStructs for objects, because uStructs work in some conditions and uClasses don't. So, whatever. So what I need to do, how did I set up my TCP callback? So I've got like the services and so I got callbacks, yeah, but we have the platform. Yeah, TCP client callbacks, but this is like the broadcast messaging. Product version updated request. Alright, so I need to scan my stuff for this. Where do we put this? It's been a while since I touched it. Says protobuffers, TCP, HTTP, Dashkin service calls. And this is all in generated code. I thought I had a thing here. Here it is, TCP callbacks. Alright, so F Dashkin platform base TCP callbacks. So I've got these down at the bottom of this. So I made these base TCP implementation. We unbound ourselves, and broadcast message is another entirely separate thing, and I'm just throwing that in there. Okay, so I can actually go remove the broadcast message, can't I? No, broadcast message is supposed to be out there, and the am I doing a thing that I shouldn't? Because I seem to remember with a deployment that I have an unnecessary broadcast message that's going out. I think it's inside of tools, deployment tool. Inside of here, we've got a broadcast message, product updated, send to this guy. So product updated is going to product updated, which is calling into, see right here, this right here has got the wrong crap in there. It's not a broadcast message, is it? It's a product updated message. That's what it's supposed to be. But do I even have a product updated thing? Was this supposed to be in like base TCP? That doesn't make any damn sense. Broadcast message type, product updated ID. So we have a product updated message, and then we're making product version updated request. Let's see. Alright, so it's supposed to be like that. And is that actually part of the base TCP call? The base TCP service. Product version updated. It most certainly is. Okay, so that should fix that. So the product version updated base TCP callbacks. We have broadcast message. And is this... Why do we not have the other one? So why don't we go to this Dashkin TCP base callback handler. So we've got product version updated, and we just have call set error not implement. All right, so we haven't even implemented this. We can just leave that alone for now, though. Okay, so what we can do here is we can create the mission callback stuff. So let's go do that. All right, so this is going to be f-dashkin game data implementation. This is going to be a public Dashkin game data callback. Yeah, there we are. So this will be this callback interface, and we can get mission data and on mission data updated. So the only thing we want is this on mission data updated function, and we don't want the regular stuff in there. So we got that. So this class implements our game data callback interface. So we need one of these guys, if game data implementation. So we have this game data callbacks. Let's see, where's mTCP callbacks? Okay, so here we go. Let's see where else we use this. So alright, so m callback, registry, get game data callback, register callback implementation, address, game data callbacks, and so that should do that. Let's make sure there's no other references to these guys. So basically how we got it is you can kind of declare these things that the platform connection will call back into your code to do operations from inside of the game thread. So it'll hold on to these notifications until the game thread, and then it'll dump them all to you at once when you call tick. And that's how we kind of do push messages from the platform back into the game system with this whole thing. So we need to go actually implement this on mission updated thing. So we need to go to broadcast message. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and implement this. Do we need a constructor? Why do we have a platform here? Platform disconnect. We don't need a platform here. Okay, so set platform doesn't need to exist for this guy because we don't care. And this is going to be our game data implementation. We're just going to do on mission data updated. And the only thing I'm going to do for now is just log it out. Alright, so mission data has been updated to version %d, and we'll do request get version. And we'll just do a basic sanity check as we always do. So let's go ahead and build this and make sure that we got everything working. I think we need to include here the Dashkin like game data callback.h. Might be right. See if I got it fast enough or if I have to build it again. Oh no. What is this pissed about? It's angry about this guy, so probably I didn't get it included fast enough for the compiler not to hate me. These are all pissed about the same thing of well, it's just gotta keep being annoying. The build has failed. Just failed, Microsoft. Problem is I can't cancel the build because if you cancel a build, it sometimes blows up all your incremental builds and then you'll be sitting here for 2 million years while this thing dies. And this is kind of how the whole callback registration system is very similar to what is actually used in Electronic Arts for some of its back-end server stuff, where I thought that was a pretty nice system when I was working on it, where you basically registered these callback things for RPC handling, and the system called you back. It's pretty cool, which is why I'm kind of using a similar pattern. Why is this still pissed? Like, this is still just telling me that there's a missing semicolon here. It really doesn't make much sense to me. Did it not realize that I had changed the file or something? And rescan it? Is that what's going on? And also shouldn't take Visual Studio 2 million years to open this file. Also, for some reason, my keyboard is no longer showing me the status of my Visual Studio is busy. It's busy dying. Dashkin game data callback. Well, let's just build it again and see if it was just the saving while it was building that made it completely freak out on me. Otherwise, I'm not sure why. It's like, it's real angry over a semicolon somewhere, and it's like, well, this looks right. That looks right. Like, why is it dying here? You know, that doesn't really make sense why it would die right there, because I didn't change this. I'd expect it to die up here since I changed this guy. I didn't touch this trash right here. So I think it was just it being angry with me saving while it was building, and then the timestamp for the save and the build were offset from each other, or so it didn't clear its cache for building something, and then it died a horrible death somewhere inside of its incremental build. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Just getting through it now. Yeah, one of the things I did, I went down to GDC, and then after that I went up to Sacramento, and I was one of my brother's friends. I guess I should say he's my friend too. We're not like amazing friends or whatever, but we know each other and we've had some good times. So I guess I could just say he's a friend. He was running the Tough Mudder race event in Sacramento this past Saturday, which is why I have, like, you know, stupid ass sunburn all over my face. But so I was there to spectate and cheer this guy on, and that event is really fun to spectate because there's people doing all these, like, if you ever watch the Most Extreme Elimination Challenge or any of those like Japanese game shows where they have people doing stupid shit and falling off into stuff and getting hit by things, that's basically that, but like 10,000 people doing it all at once. And so there's some pretty good places to watch people. Like, they had these big rollers that they had people, they had like a pit of water and then these rollers in there that were squares, and what you had to do was you had to turn these rollers in the water to get over them. So like, if you're trying to get over it, you'd like grab onto a roller, and then your team members would push the roller up, so you would, you know, would roll over, and then you'd fall on the other side, and then on the other side you have to pull down, and the other people would grab on, and you basically pull them over, and that looked like a lot of fun. Though the favorite thing to watch, though, was the electric field. They had basically this, maybe about 15, yeah, like 10 meters of dangling electric wires, and you have to run through these dangling electric wires. So you have to run through dangling electric wires that zap the shit out of you. And and these are, you know, thin wires that are all coming down, and some people would kind of try to shimmy through and avoid the electric wires so they don't get shocked. Other people would just like put their hands in front of their face and like bull charge through the whole thing. And it was random electric shocks. So some people would get through and they wouldn't get shocked at all. Other people would just get completely destroyed and get shocked like 5 times. And the shocks were also super inconsistent. So you'd see some people that were like charging through, like totally doing awesome. They get shocked, their body would like spasm, and they would just like hit the ground like a taser, basically. And that was really fun to watch in a horribly sadistic way. So we kind of put our camping chairs right there and watched people get injured. And that was pretty cool. I would highly recommend that. Alright, so I need to test that the missions are working. So we're not going to run a dedicated server. We're going to use a single process. We're going to go to the main menu screen to boot this up. Yeah, fairly sadistic, just a bit. It really is. But the people doing it, like people got amped up over it. You know, like actually getting through it was a big deal for people. You know, it's like that whole walking on coals thing. You know, because you know you're gonna get shocked and it's gonna suck. But they just, you know, like you just power through it with like your friends. And you know, there'd be like people that you'd look at and be like, that guy is like, you know, he's a tough. That's a tough guy. He's, you know, don't mess with that man. And this is not running, so I need to turn it on. And he get hit by an electric shock, and just like boom, the dude is like on the ground, like crawling for his life, just like, oh, get me out of here! I made a horrible mistake. You know, I don't want it. Help me, God. And other people would get shocked and just go into rage mode and just be like, just get through it. So it's real interesting. It's like, what's that Mike Tyson quote? You know, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. It's definitely one of those things where you're watching and you're like, damn. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and update the missions, and what I'd like to see is I want to see the printout here of this guy saying mission data has been updated to version. Because I want to know that the whole toolchain infrastructure for missions, from checking into Perforce to pushing it in there to the Jenkins job to the backend servers, to S3 to the backend servers to the front end is working. So mission data has been updated to version 6. Awesome. Let's run it again, make sure it works. But basically what that means is we have our full dynamic data system ready to go for hooking into once we actually start using missions. But that whole Tough Mudder event was about basically people working together, and people helping each other. Like you physically cannot get through the events by yourself. That's not what it's about. So people doing the like the electric stuff there, you know, if somebody gets stuck and just like they can't go on, they're like, just like, no, it hurts, and like I'm mentally exhausted. And you know, somebody who'd already finished it would go back through the electricity and get their ass shocked to like go pick them up and like, you know, like, come on, man, you need to get the hell out of here. So this is cool to see all that going on. All right, so we have that working. So let's just go ahead and boot this up and not be logged in and make sure that that works as well. Because it needs to work for both logged in and not logged in peoples. So we're looking for version 8, I believe. Didn't look like it did anything. Loaded up mission data with version 8 with 2 missions, and it was supposed to notify all the clients. Let's see. Get auth connections, get non-auth connections, send message on game data updated. Well, let's try it again. And this time have a breakpoint on our server to see what's up with that shiz. That don't really matter if you're not logged in, like, oh yeah, this thing's not even going to have a TCP connection to the backend, is it? Let's just verify that that's the case. Because if you're not logged in, like, we're not even talking to the backend. Like, we don't use the internet except for like anonymous telemetry data over HTTP. Yeah, there's nothing going on. All right, that's totally fine. So we are in compliance. We don't need to save that level. So that worked. So we have the game, a push notification to clients with new mission data. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push all this stuff out to the test environment, and I'm going to double check that it works there, and then I'll probably be done for today. I've already been doing work today, so, and I got some other stuff to do that I don't want to do on stream. So I'm going to build this, push it out to test, make sure it works with all of this. So I need to go build the Java server, and I need to sync the configs in the local environment, and I need to sync them in the test environment. Yeah, so the reason I have this stupid sunburn is because out there at that Tough Mudder event, it was kind of overcast, and it was a cool day as well. Like, the wind was blowing, so it wasn't like super hot. And you just kind of forget that you need sunscreen because you've been living in a basement for the last year of your life. You're like, oh yeah, there's any amount of sun. Yes, I should get sunscreen. Oh no, I have made a horrible mistake. And then driving back from GDC through Southern Oregon and all that stuff was also nice because it was a complete blizzard where you couldn't see anything in front of yourself. So I drove through that and saw a few semis completely off the road and completely smashed to pieces, and that was cool because I just kept going. Well, they were all marked off. People were there, but yeah, so completely safe driving conditions. Also, I had been awake for so long at that point that I was hallucinating while driving, which is perfectly safe, which is good. And but I got back all nice and safe, and that works. So hooray, driving long distances. All right, so configurations are synced. Everything's like that, and we're building our Java server, which is almost finished. Oh, what? Hallucinations of what? Oh, yeah, like, that's when you're awake for so long, and because, like, the whole conference, you're basically just completely toast. So by the end of that, and then, like, being outside at this event, and, like, you know, those events you have to, like, go hike around and all sorts of stuff. So lots of physical activity. Like, you're spectating, but you're not like, you know, sitting in the bleachers, you know, drinking a beer spectating. It's, you know, you're walking around and doing stuff and yelling at people. But yeah, hallucinating completely. Yeah, I think the biggest one was of a flock of birds that I was following while driving in the air, and I could see like 100 birds just up there flying in the same direction I was, and I was like, those birds are fake. I should probably take care of myself falling asleep while I am here driving. But that works. I have plenty of ways to keep myself awake. So just watch for the hallucinations, and as soon as they start, you're like, all right, cool. You know, grab the bucket of water and pour it over your head because you need to stay the hell awake. How could you tell they were fake? Because I don't know. You can kind of tell when shit's like a ridiculous hallucination. Like, that's not real. Because they're not like real birds, they're like shadow birds, and they phase in and out of existence. And you're like, either we're being invaded by space aliens in the form of seagulls, or I am slowly falling asleep here. So I'm deploying out this stuff to test environment, and I'm going to go ahead and SSH out there to make sure I got all this stuff rocking and rolling. Alright, WD services, apps. Alright, so it's out there. Alright. So we got this guy, he's going to start up in just another couple seconds. So let's switch over our platform to the test environment for this guy and boot him back up. And this is basically testing that I actually have my configuration files correctly deployed, because I set them up for test and for prod, and it should be good. They're simple, but it's real easy to actually forget something. And I could push stuff out to prod, but there's no point, so I won't. Alright, let's load up that UI level. Not sure I like that little guy up there. Unable to load missions at startup. Fatal. Fatal. Oh no. That's because I have not actually deployed the game data to the test environment. So let's go ahead and deploy it to test, and let's deploy it to prod. Just so we got something out there, right? So this guy exploded, as he's supposed to. Which is good. That's, yeah, I had missed a step, so that's why we test things. Version file doesn't exist, new version is 0. Alright, so backend server is at full capacity, error in service discovery, and all that stuff. Let's see if we can log in yet. Break, unsupported context of superclass. What? Alright, well, who gives a shit about that? This stuff should come back online here in just a second. The load balancers need to... Yeah, failure to connect, that's fine, that's what we expect. But the load balancer should come back online here and then let us start working in another minute. There we go.